Hey, it's Benjie Cole, son of Al Cole from CBS Radio, welcoming you to another edition of People of Distinction, the talk that gives an in-depth view of some of the most dynamic, intelligent, and successful people on the planet. Run to our website, peopleofdistinction.org, for more info, or you can email me directly at benji@alcoleenterprises.com. And on the line with us today, we have Genie Craff. We'll be discussing her book, Pips, Profits, and Power, Forex Mindset Mastery. And that book is available at Amazon and Barnes & Noble. But if you guys want to get everything that Genie has to offer, listen, do yourself a favor. Don't stop at Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Of course, they're great resources to utilize, but go directly to her personal website, pipsprofitspower.com. There, not only will you be able to find more information on Genie, but you'll find more information on her books and her journal that goes along with the book, and you'll be able to purchase both or each separately through the website directly. So one more time, that's pipsprofitspower.com. And I will say, Genie was brought to People of Distinction today by some of the best movers in the business, Parchment Global Publishing. If you have a book that you'd like moved, well, move it to Parchment. You can find them at parchmentglobalpublishing.com. And guys, listen, it is an absolute pleasure to have Genie here on the line because her book we're going to be discussing today, Pips, Profits, and Power. Guys, listen, have you ever dreamed of, potentially making more money, right? Increasing the numbers of commas in your bank account, learning how to trade and learning that type of market and that style of business? Well, listen, Genie is going to be able to explain all the nuances in her book, and it revolves exactly around that. Okay, now, a lot of times we may look at it like, listen, this is a very challenging industry, and we really don't understand it, and we don't know really how to get started, which is why it is such a pleasure to have her here on the line, because she's going to go ahead and break everything down for us and make this so simple. So one more time, Genie Craff here on the line. Genie, first and foremost, thank you so much for being a guest with us today on People of Distinction. How are you?
I'm wonderful, and thank you so much for inviting me. It's really a pleasure.
Absolutely. Well, listen, we're very much looking forward to this and really all the information you're going to be able to relay. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Genie, for those who may not know, what is Forex, and can anyone do it?
Yes, absolutely. Forex, first of all, is the trading of foreign currencies. Most people don't think they've even done it before, but if you've ever traveled to a foreign country and traded your American dollars into pesos or into the yen, you have actually already participated in Forex, which is the trading of foreign currencies. And yes, I have to say, anyone who's basically, you have to be over the age of 18 in order to get an account with a broker, but if you're willing to put in the time and learn how to actually place profitable trades, anybody can do this.
That's so interesting that you bring it up, because that's something that I never even really thought of, right? I mean, listen, my significant other and I, we love to travel, okay? She's done a much more traveling than I have. I mean, she's been to probably over 20 different countries in her lifetime, and she actually has collected foreign currency from every country that she's gone. We have like a box full of different foreign currency that really she was just collecting to collect because it's just, it's unique and it's different and we like it. It never even dawned upon us that we could actually utilize that for trading purposes. This is fantastic. Now, next question I'd love to get into, Genie, is what is the significance of the title, Pips, Profits, and Power, Forex Mindset Mastery, with the same title for the companion journal?
Well, the title is very significant because just as in golf, as we all have heard before, golf is such a mind game, if you'll put it in those terms, that if your head isn't in the game, then you're not going to do well playing golf. Well, the same is true when you're trading Forex. Mindset is absolutely the critical piece. You can watch your money just vanish in a second. You can also watch yourself earn $7,000 in 4 minutes. So it can be very, very, very exciting, but it also can really be pretty trying on the nerves. So when I was first looking for what would I possibly name this creation of mine, my book? I came across the concept of pips and profits because they're connected. The pips are actually the tiniest little incremental measure of change in a currency value. So basically, even a tenth or a thousandth of a cent at a time or a dollar. It's really interesting. And the profits are your earnings. That's really simple. So pips, profits. From that, you have to have the power of your mind with completely confident, consistent confidence to have mindset mastery. So that's where the whole title came from. And when I was writing the journal, I really wanted to focus on what was actually working for traders when they were trading, because I couldn't find it in any other journal.
Thank you for clarifying, because at first when I was looking at it, and I was like, wait, Gladys Knight and the Pips? Are we talking about music here? But no, we're not talking about music, although that does have a catchy ring to it as well. Thank you very much for clarifying, Genie. Now, listen, let's talk about the book cover. Okay, now, first and foremost, two-part question. Is the book cover significant? And B, what do the blue and the red lines mean on the cover?
Well, actually, what I tried to create was how an actual Forex trade looks. So it came to me very early one morning when I was trading the London markets. I think it was about 3:30 in the morning. And I sat up in bed and I checked my trades, and the picture just came to me of what the cover should look like. So I have pips with the dollar sign at the top and then profits with an arrow going up. You can also make profits going down, but I wanted to show on the book cover what a trade would look like if the pips were going up. So if you look at the pips, the blue ones are the ones that go up and the red ones are the ones that go down. But overall, the trend is going up, just like the arrow that's profits. Mm-hmm. And then the power, of course, comes, like I said before, from mindset mastery. And it demonstrates an upward movement of the market, which is so important when you're trading a buy.
What inspired you, Genie, to write this ambitious 2-book set?
Well, I will definitely say it was ambitious. As an educator, I've always looked at materials, because materials can either make a session, they can break a session, or they can completely erase a session. And what I mean by that is, when a learner comes to learn, if there's absolutely nothing but a plain blank paper, only a certain percentage of the population can learn that way. So as I was looking for books, I was in any information when I first started trading, I was searching the market for any materials on mindset, because it was such an important piece. It's critical for successful trading, and I found nothing. Now, I found some journals, and I found some books on trading, but this is not a book about how do you trade. This is a book about how you keep your mind in the right space for trading. So I decided that along the way, challenges, would be the way that a trader would actually complete their mindset, master their mindset, and make it the most personal. So the book itself has over 88 separate challenges in it, and the journal has over 800 ways to document a trade. Wow.
There you have it. So it's packed with information, guys. Such useful knowledge. And listen, playing off of that, as you stated, it's a 2-part series. So there's the book, and then there's the journal. Now, what is the number one takeaway from the book? And then vice versa, what is the number one takeaway from the journal?
The number one takeaway from the book is, what is the actual responsibility of the trader? And the reason I say it that way is because there's really only one thing that the trader is supposed to do. Everyone typically comes into trading and looks at it as, I just want to make money. I just want to make money. I want to make rent money, or I want to buy a new car, and I want to make sure I have the payment for my new car or whatever. And unfortunately, people who look at it very short term like that are not long-term traders, number one. Number two, they can easily blow their accounts because they don't invest in the educational experience that it takes in order for them to learn about trading. And number three, they don't do the number one thing, which is protect the money in their account. So in other words, if you start out with $4,000, you don't want to go down to $1,000 before you start to learn your lessons. You'd kind of like to learn your lessons at $4,000. and go up from there. And that's why mindset is so important. Mindset mastery is ultimately the skill of mastering your mindset and your thoughts for the task of successful Forex trading.
Fantastic. Listen, we'd love to hear. My audience is going to get upset with me if I don't already hurry up and ask this next question. Please, Genie, we'd love to hear you share a short snippet from the book or from the journal.
I'm going to share a snippet from the book.
Okay.
I'm going to share page 18, which I think is pretty cool. It was really interesting. This, again, came to me in the middle of the night, so I ran to my computer and I wrote it down. It's about focusing on our why, which is absolutely critical. It actually should happen before we begin anything new. So in other words, we look at things like why does Apple sell all kinds of products, and other companies have something very similar, but they don't sell the same. It's because Apple has a completely different mindset about how they sell their products. So chapter 18 focuses on our why, and it starts with a quote from Simon Sinek in his Start With Why, page 133. Charisma has nothing to do with energy. It comes from a clarity of why. It comes from absolute conviction of an ideal bigger than oneself. And here's what I wrote. Time is the only currency which cannot be traded, purchased, or saved. It therefore is the most precious and should be treasured. Money, on the other hand, is another story. Back when stones or coins or furs were used to trade, they were given a value, just as our fiat currency, the dollar, is today. When it comes to our dollars, it's most important to protect the dollars we already have. You want to avoid scams which take your dollars without providing you a real service. The best services provide an educational payback. Paying for knowledge will always be with you, as no one can take that information from you. Invest in yourself. Why is the most important question you can answer for yourself. As you make your decision to trade Forex, deep down inside each trader, there is a reason why. Hopefully your why is deep enough to help or assist others. That's what I'm going to read. There's more.
Thank you so much, Genie. Appreciate you sharing. Again, here on the line with Genie Craff, we're discussing her book, Pips, Profits, and Power, Forex Mindset Mastery, available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or directly through her personal website, pipsprofitspower.com. Genie, this has all been fantastic thus far. Thank you for all the information you've been able to relay. Now, listen, I'm really curious. Please, if you can, I'd love to hear one of your favorite challenges from the book.
I am going to share page 121, which is right here. And if this challenge comes from chapter 10, which is entitled Women in Forex for Your Eyes Only. That was another thing I could not find. Forex is a predominantly male-dominated industry, I guess I would say. Whereas sometimes when I looked at teaching, it was exactly the opposite. Many of the materials were written sometimes by men, but mostly by women. But in Forex, I found very, very little that was written by women. So I wanted to create a chapter in my book that was really, really catered just to women. And this is challenge number 63, Women in Forex. Quote, "You have the power all the time, my dear." This is from Glinda the Good Witch and the Wizard of Oz. And it has profits. It has a profits affirmation, and this profit affirmation is, I have power. Your power word is power. And then there's a space there for you to write in your own personal affirmation. After that, there's a profitable trading wisdom on every single challenge. And it says, I have the power all along when, and you finish the paragraph.
Perfect. So it's really constructed and built for that participation as well. And this is helping to create that mindset that you're talking about, really in mastering that mindset. Fantastic.
Exactly.
That is wonderful. Genie, listen, as if there was any more information that you could possibly give, that we've already packed this interview with so much valuable information. Listen, is there anything else that you'd like to share with us?
Just a real quick note about the journal, and then I have a couple of bonus things I'd like to share.
Yes, please.
The favorite part of the journal, and there are many, but I think what was missing in most of the journals that I found is they didn't have directions, like specific directions of what does this field mean. So if you have a field that is, let me just pull one, for example, risk to reward ratio. Boy, if you don't know what that means, it could mean that you make poor trades all the time. But if you know what that means and you know what to do and what to look for, you can have a better chance of having a successful trade. And so every single field in my journal, I explain how to use it, and I give you an example. And that brings me to the first bonus that I would like to share with you, that on my website, there's a place to sign up. I write periodic articles. Sometimes I put some things on Instagram. It just kind of depends on how, what the demand is for people who have actually gotten the book. I've gotten quite a bit of feedback. I took over a year and a half to find people who were learning how to trade, and some people who'd been trading for as many as 15 years gave me excellent information about what was missing when they started and even what was still missing after 15 years. So on my website, there's a place where you can share your email to get some of those periodic articles. There's an immediate download for emoji sheet to use with the journal. So I've chosen emojis that really have to do specifically with trading, which is kind of interesting, and that's an instant download for you. Absolutely. And bonus number 2 is that you can buy this 2-book set on Amazon, and I basically give you the journal for free almost, which is kind of cool. So that's about $34.99. Sometimes it's a little bit cheaper on Amazon depending on holidays and things like that. But those are my 2 bonuses.
Genie, this has been so enlightening and absolutely empowering. Guys, what more can we say, right? We understand that, okay, listen, we're always trying to strive for more, okay? And we understand that the climate that we're currently in our human family, as globally, as a society, guys, it's a bit of a tough time right now. I mean, it was a tough time prior to this COVID situation, but now with this COVID situation, a lot of things have been flipped upside down, and really there's a lot of uncertainty in the air. What a great way to really spend the time that we have, because I don't know about you guys, but I'm spending a lot more time at home nowadays than I used to. Why not spend that time educating ourselves? Really, not only educating ourselves just for the sake of education, that's always good, of course, but educating yourself and then opening another door to be able to really accumulate more funds in the future. What an amazing book, packed with information. Listen, we've only scratched the surface here in this interview. As Genie said, go to her website, pipsprofitspower.com. There's so much more than just the book and the journal there to be gained. Okay, go to Amazon, go to Barnes & Noble, go to her website, pick up your copy of Pips, Profits, and Power, Forex Mindset Mastery by Genie Craff. You surely will not be disappointed. Genie, I cannot thank you enough. This has been so enlightening. Thank you very much for being a guest with us today on People of Distinction.
Thank you so much. This was incredibly fun. Thank you.